So for this video, I'm doing something a little bit different. I've always had a hard time with finding crafts for New Year's because there's nothing like specific. Like for winter, I did snowmen, fall trees, that type of thing. But in looking through all of the crafts out there, I see two themes. There's decorations for New Year's parties, New Year's celebrations, and then there's a concentration on the year that it is going to be. So what I did was I took a trip through an arts and crafts store, which was, as you can imagine, a lot of fun. And I videoed all of the different things that I thought might fit into making something, some crafts for New Year's. So I'm going to take you along with me on my trip through the craft store, some of the different things that I videoed, and we'll see what I end up finding that I can use for New Year's crafts. So when I first walk into the store, I come across these things. This is, by the way, in Israel. I'm visiting here and doing videos here. So I come across these things and I think, maybe I can use something like this with some children, with some yarn. They can wrap it around and then we can kind of string it. So that one is a little bit more expensive. I end up getting just two smaller ones like this. Then I came across some beads. Beads is a great thing for stringing. Didn't want to spend the money for it. You could use like that kind of silver festive things to string it. And then I found this is a little bit harder. It's like a wire kind of thing. I'm going to use that for stringing. And then I came across these who were really pretty, but I don't know if I had a use for them. There are some mosaics you could use with the year. And then here are some very beautiful like pipe cleaners and pom-poms. I decided to go with these gold because they're very festive. The others were just too expensive. Then I found these numbers and I said, that's great. Now I'm going to concentrate on the year. And I bought those stencils. Here are a bunch of styrofoam things. I'm thinking, what can I do with those? Then I found these small balls. I said, well, decorate them and string them. Here is all kinds of color tape, which you can use. They can use to write Happy New Year. They can use it for the numbers. I decided to buy just plain masking tape because they can color that and then use it in a few different ways. With the numbers, probably. Then I came across all of these markers, and I decided to try to find oil pastels. Hopefully it would be in a language I can understand, and there we go. And with oil pastels, it's always good to have watercolors. So here are my watercolor options, and I got a set of oil pastels and watercolors to use for resists. Then there are all these just gorgeous ribbons and papers and sequin things and poster boards and many things that you can use if you look for your decorations. So these are the materials I ended up with. I got those stencil numbers. We're going to do a couple of 2025 activities. I have some tape. I'm just going to do some simple tape activities. I got oil pastels and watercolors will do a resist. And we got those pretty pipe cleaners we'll probably make some chains. We'll use those very small craft sticks. They're going to color them and then use them to write things with them. I did get some styrofoam balls that they're going to color, and then we're going to string them with, either yarn or the wire. And then we have those other things with the notches. So full disclosure, when I bought these, I didn't know what they were. And then I discovered that they're dreidels. If you don't know what dreidels are, it is a little spinning toy that is used on the holiday of Hanukkah. But in any case, it can be used. I had meant to use these as just like for stringing along a room for decoration. And they're very easy to decorate. You could use markers, oil pastels, paint, anything. And then what had drawn me to these was these notches where the kids can take the yarn and just fill them up. And it's just another fun activity. for them. They could do it on top of the colored ones as well, and then just string them. Actually playing around with how to string them, I find that using pipe cleaners is probably the best way. You wrap it around here and then you wrap it around another pipe cleaner and you can hang them that way. And here is what I did with the pipe cleaners. The more metallic, the prettier, the more festive they'll be. And then you can take some paper chains or anything even more festive and metallic looking and add them to the chains. So what I actually did with this for the stringing, this is another way to string, and these are the balls that were colored with markers, decorated. You can decorate them any other way. And when you push the wire through it, it makes a hole, and you can string things that way. You can even take egg cartons, this kind of egg cartons, cut them up, have them decorated, and then decorate it first and then cut them up, and then you have these small pieces, make a hole in it. You can add it as well. Another way of stringing is I made a hole with this, and then you take one of these needles that I had and you string it through, and you string them through just like this, and you can add many different things for the festive stringing. So this is an activity in itself where the children can color these very mini craft sticks. You can use the oil pastels, the pencils, or the markers. What I would do with these little colored sticks or larger colored sticks, and they can be broken, is write out Happy New Year or 2025, and you see that even the rounded P can be done, and if not, if you need smaller pieces, then just break them in half. For younger children, you might want to write out the happy or the 2025, and then they can just paste them on top. Or something like this. So here I'm using the stencils. These are very large, so I need a very large piece of paper, or else a book that's opened the long way. And of course, since we're doing 2025, you need to use the two twice. So this was the first activity we did with the stencils, just a standard tracing with a pencil and writing out the 2025 along the size of the book. Once the 2025 is outlined, they can fill it in with oil pastels, markers, paints, or even small mosaic pieces. And another thing you can do to make it easier is to cut out the letters. You could do that freehand. You don't have to do it with a stencil. And they can decorate or collage on top of it. Maybe it's even easier because they don't have to stay in the line. And then, if you want, you give them a larger paper and you can glue the whole thing down, and then they can decorate around it as well. So this is a tape resist. He colored oil pastels and white, and then painted it over with watercolor. Use darker colors for this because it shows up what's underneath much better than the light ones, and also use good watercolors. Now I'm going to use the tape in two ways. First, I lightly drew the 2025 on the background. Then I added tape on top of the letters, and I had to rip, for the rounded pieces, I had to rip them into small pieces to get the curves. I then colored all over the tape, and of course you can use anything else. You can use paint, watercolor paint, you can use tempera as well, you can use markers. And now we're going to remove the tape to show the impression of the letters. Little tip about removing tape from paper: sometimes it rips the paper. If you take a blow dryer or a heat gun and put it on top of the tape as you're taking it off, it melts the glue under the tape and allows it to be removed much easier. So after I remove all this, I'm going to erase the pencil line inside.
If you use a darker material, you'll see the numbers better. Another way to use tape is to literally just paint or color the tape. Here I have it on the paper, so it's just easy to use. Color it with marker or paint or colored pencils, and then you could use the tape to form your letters or your numbers.